Hello everyone. This is 6th lecture on subject Income Tax 2 for BCom 6th semester students. In previous class, we have solved one simple problem on short-term capital gain, and in today's class we'll be solving one more sum on short-term capital gain with one or two simple adjustments. Before you watch the video, I request all of you to note down this sum as well as solve it in your notebook. The question is, Avani submits the following particulars of her income for the previous year 2019-20, and you are given two information. First one, she purchased listed shares of the face value of rupees 9 lakh of a limited company for rupees 9,90,000 in May 2019 and sold them for rupees 12 lakh in February 2020 and also paid brokerage at 2% on the face value of shares. And second information is, on 31st December 2019, she sold her personal car for rupees 5 lakh which was purchased in August 2017 at rupees 8 lakh. Compute the capital gains for the assessment year 2021. In this sum, you are asked to calculate capital gains, but you are not mentioned whether to find a short-term capital gain or long-term capital gain. So whether the sum is based on short-term or long-term capital gain can be identified with the help of nature of financial asset as well as finding out the holding period of the capital asset. Here, in first information, Avani has purchased listed shares. Therefore, the nature of capital asset is, it is financial capital asset. And what is the holding period for financial capital asset? It is 12 months. Therefore, to know whether she is holding short-term capital asset or long-term capital asset, we need to check out the period of holding of the capital asset by Miss Avani. Let us check the information. She has purchased these shares in the month of May 2019 and she has sold these shares in the month of February 2020. The cut-off holding period for financial capital asset is 12 months, wherein Avani is holding these shares for less than 12 months. Therefore, she is holding short-term capital asset. So, whatever result arises, either it will be a short-term capital gain or short-term capital loss. And the second information is, she is holding personal car. Personal car is a personal effect, therefore we have to completely ignore this information as it is exempt. That means it is not treated as capital asset because it is personal car. Now let us start solving the sum. First information is listed shares. And what is the value we take first to solve the sum? It is full value of consideration. Full value of consideration is nothing but the amount or the value of sale of capital asset. In first information, Avani has sold listed shares at rupees 12 lakh. So the sale price of capital asset is 12 lakh, which is nothing but it is full value of consideration of the asset. From this, we have to deduct expenses on transfer. So just check in the information, are you given any expenses which are incurred by Miss Avani during sale of the capital asset? So yes, we are given information here that she paid brokerage at 2% on the face value. So less brokerage charges, you can show it in the bracket, it is at 2% on 9 lakh. You are told that 2% on face value of shares. Face value of share is 9 lakh rupees. Therefore, we get brokerage charges as 18,000 rupees. Now, full value of consideration minus expenses on transfer, that is brokerage charges, whatever balance remains is known as net consideration. Net consideration. What is net consideration? It is 11,82,000. From 11,82,000, that is from net consideration, now we have to deduct cost of acquisition less cost of acquisition. The format of computation of short-term capital gain is already given in third lecture. Check out the format by which it will be easier for you to solve this sum according to the format. Cost of acquisition is nothing but cost of purchase of shares. Though you are given face value of share at 9 lakh rupees, but Avani has spent 9,90,000 rupees to purchase it. Therefore, the cost of acquisition is 9,90,000. Cost of acquisition 9,90,000. So the balance remaining is 1,92,000. Sorry, yes, 1,92,000. This is nothing but it is gross short-term capital gain. Gross short-term capital gain. From gross short-term capital gain, deduct exemptions if they are given in the sum. So less exemptions. You are not given any exemptions in the sum, it is nil. Therefore, the balance remaining is 1,92,000. This is our final answer. Short-term capital gain, or we also call it as net short-term capital gain. We have solved sum using first information, that is listed shares. Now let us solve it for the second information. Second one is she is holding personal car. So personal car is a personal effect, so write it in bracket exempt. And what all capital assets are exempt and not to be considered while solving the sum are already discussed in second lecture. So all of you, if you have not watched those videos, watch those, it would be easier for you to solve the sums. It is nil. Therefore our final answer, that is short term capital gain is 1,92,000. I hope you have understood the sum. Let us just revise it fast. You are given information of Miss Avani for the previous year 2019-20. In first information, she is holding listed shares. You are given face value as well as the acquired value of the shares, and also the sale price of the shares, and also some brokerage charges. In second information, you are told that she is holding a personal car. From first information, that is listed shares, we get short term capital gain at 1,92,000. That is, full value of consideration is taken at 12 lakh, which is the sale amount of the listed shares. From that we have to deduct any expenses that are incurred by assessee during transfer or sale of the capital asset. So to sell those listed shares, she has paid brokerage charges at 2% on face value of shares, and the face value of share is 9 lakh. It comes to 18,000. The balance remaining is 11,82,000, which is known as net consideration. From net consideration, we have to deduct cost of acquisition. Cost of acquisition is nothing but cost of purchase of the shares, wherein she has spent 9,90,000 rupees to acquire it. And after deducting 9,90,000 from 11,82,000, we get balance of rupees 1,92,000, which is known as gross short term capital gain. From gross short term capital gain, deduct exemptions if there are any. So no exemptions given, therefore gross short term capital gain itself is net short term capital gain, which is 1,92,000. And second capital asset is personal car. As personal car is a personal effect which is not to be treated as capital asset, therefore it is exempt, and no value is taken for the second information or second capital asset. Therefore our final answer, that is short term capital gain, first plus second, is 1,92,000.